Hello. Welcome back to another live stream. Deadline game week 18. The big one, the free hit week. We're joined today by Mr. Owen Brown. How you doing, fella?
Doing quite well, actually.
Doing rather well. How are we feeling about this game week before we get into both of our teams? Just kind of from a general perspective. Hello. Always
I'm interested. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people with relatively similar free hit teams, but there's also going to be a lot of players who haven't used their free hit chip and are going to navigate without it. I think it's going to be interesting to see what teams actually get, because there's obviously going to be a lot of similarities, but it's going to be interesting to see what little differences we've got.
Yeah. Hello to Green Arrow every week. This is Yo in the chat and Julie in the chat. Good to see you guys in here. To regulars. I actually had a message from L, who's the other co-host, guys. He messaged me like 5 minutes ago. His updated team, right? And it from yesterday. I think he now has like one player that's different to my team.
Really?
It's funny, man. Well, kind of different. I think he went with Cavani up front, which he's stuck with.
He's not got Kane,
but then he's gone with Edison in goal. So he's got the double. He's now got the double Man City defense.
Okay.
I think Clark and he's got Dyer as well. But let's move on. Let's move on. Let me bring it over into your team. I've got all my things here. Transition. There we go. Your team hasn't changed in a week or so. How are we feeling?
Just over a week, yeah.
Yeah, how are we feeling? It seems like you've got everything sorted.
Well, I think the last stream that I was on, I was talking about how I, keeping Dyer in. I'm probably planning to change him, but I wanted to wait and see what fixtures were like. I wanted to see, I don't want to take him out considering he's got. I have held him since a couple of price rises.
For sure.
And since then, yesterday we got at least I got the good news telling me that.
Good news.
That's personally playing Fulham, so I've got every right to keep him in for the price I've got him at.
The one thing I'd say about that team is, are you still happy with Darlow?
No. So I thought I'd keep it for a little bit of fun. That in this stream I'm going to be making 2 transfers, I think. Which you and I have discussed before.
Yeah.
Either Diaz or Cancelo for John Stones, and then Darlow to David De Gea.
To David De Gea. So you take out Darlow, bring in De Gea, and take out who? Diaz
or Cancelo. Haven't decided yet. We'll flip the coin.
Do you have the coin to do Darlow and Dyer to Lloris and Clark? Do you have that coin?
I don't know if I'm on absolutely 0, so I don't know if I can afford to just go straight do the straight move.
Because I think it's the difference between Dyer and is 0.5 for you, and then so I think you're 1 off maybe, but then Bernardo for Brighton you could change to Douglas from Leeds. That's 0.1, so you could do Lloris and Clark. You could have that combination.
I could do.
It depends if you want to keep Dyer, I guess.
Yeah, I think. I think the difference there is do I feel as confident with Newcastle to not leak a goal to Sheffield?
Yeah.
As I do Burnley to penetrate the Man United defence, because I think. Because I think Man United are obviously a bit more solid defensively, a bit more structural.
Oh, so I misheard what you were saying. So you're going to have no Newcastle defence with this new plan?
Correct.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Oh, I see. So wait, so it was De Gea and Stones.
It'd be De Gea, Stones, Diaz or Cancelo, and Dyer. So it'll be Spurs, United, and Double City.
Ooh, I think I prefer it over what you've got at the minute, just solely because we don't know whether Darlow's going to play.
Definitely.
But also, I think De Gea, because De Gea is a little bit of a risk as well in terms of goalkeepers. in terms of rotation.
In what sense?
Well, because they've got Henderson as well, and Henderson was playing in the cup. Obviously, I don't know. I'm throwing it out there as just like precaution to the win sort of thing, but
Yeah. I mean, my other option would also be Darlow to Leno,
yeah, not bad option.
which I know that you don't hate. You dislike rather.
The thing is, right, when I'm giving this advice, like, say if I wasn't a Palace fan, I'd be going Tierney over Maguire. Like, I would hand that advice out happily. So like with this, obviously I don't like it because of my bias, but I would never advise someone against it, and I don't actually think from a neutral perspective it's a bad move at all. But that also being said, I was saying to Elle yesterday that the history in sort of this game, the past 6 fixtures, neither side has kept a clean sheet. So I'm out on that sense.
6 fixtures. Which fixture is that? The United,
the Palace,
Arsenal.
In the last 6 fixtures, neither. So it kind of, that stat allows me to get away with my bias and my thinking, if you know what I mean.
Okay, so you made a decision and you're looking for a fact to try and support your decision rather than the other way around.
Yeah, but I also the fact that fact is there. I quite like it because I could be like, hold on a second. It's not complete madness. But obviously you'd rather have Leno, you'd rather have Leno starting than Darlow get benched, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, would you consider a Newcastle defender, or would you be able to do?
I mean, I know that people are going to be running with Newcastle defenders, and I know that Sheffield aren't scoring goals, but if there is a team to just, in the 89th minute leak a goal, it's Newcastle.
For sure. Would you be able to do a move in a way that would sort of, because Elle was saying yesterday about Tunzabe, and the fact that if he starts, he's most likely going to keep a clean sheet, and if he doesn't, then, you're fine, whatever. So maybe you could have, like, start Tunzabe, put Clark on the bench, something like that, so you have that cover if you want that Manchester United player. I don't know, that at that point you're getting, it's getting quite technical, but
yeah, I mean he's not a player who's going to get subbed on. I agree with that. That much. So
if he starts, the likelihood is he'll get a clean sheet. I don't know, but
he's just as likely to get a clean sheet probably as any other United defensive asset.
Exactly.
It's an interesting thought.
And he's because he's a bit cheaper, it's sort of you can, I guess, allow it a bit more. Because if that's saying Luke Shaw or Lindelof at 4.8, it's a bit more of a chunk of our money to be putting into a player you don't really know whether it's going to play.
Yeah. I mean, to combat what you're saying about
or Twanzebe,
De Gea, or De Gea not playing. He's only not played 2 league fixtures.
Yeah.
Thus far, and as you said, Henderson played in the cup fixture.
But that tends to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, like you'd expect Henderson to be playing the cup game, and then De Gea to probably play the league game.
I mean, I think he will play, but I'm just kind of like throwing a bit of precaution out there. I do think that the Darlow versus Dubravka thing, there's a little bit more of an emphasis in that, if you know what I mean, because of how good Dubravka was last season. He was the player of the season. I've seen loads of Newcastle fans saying, what has he done wrong, and also they play much better with him. I definitely think that debate is a lot stronger than the say De Gea. I'd feel, if I was going to pick between the two, I'd feel a lot more comfortable going into the game with De Gea, and thinking that he was going to start.
As would I.
Get your comments down below. Any last minute decisions or transfers or anything you want to ask. Get them in down below. I'll move on to my team quickly. Got half an hour until the deadline, so everyone panicking right now. I've still seen people kind of on Twitter like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Am I going to wildcard? Am I going to free hit? What is going on? I think
this late.
The fact that I free hit so early, although there was kind of a lot of worry with the fixtures, it was kind of just like, right, this is out the way kind of thing. It's done, basically. There's no panic. Yeah. It's done. Whatever fixtures happen and come up, that's that. I think with this Spurs full, it's an interesting one because I think a lot of people who weren't going to free hit also had a fair few kind of Aston Villa players that they were relying on playing. At least two in because I think most people have Martinez, and then a lot of other people kind of top that up with either Grealish or Watkins. So I think you'll probably be seeing a fair few people free hit who were kind of relying a bit more on Aston Villa assets. But I don't know what Aaron's doing actually, but we both know that Ishan's not either. I think that was quite brave by him, but he does cover a fair few of the assets, so is what it is.
He's got to hope that he either makes the quote unquote correct captain decision, and that the decider, the fringe assets don't perform too strongly.
Yeah, so like say Wilson, like obviously we're hoping for a Wilson goal. He's got hope for a Wilson blank, and probably a Newcastle concede to Sheffield. He'd have to hope that United and City concede because most people you're going with double City, aren't you? I think we've got a very similar structured defence in terms of like double City. We've got a United asset in there and a Spurs asset in there, and the thing is it's topped up on loads of so like if Man United get a clean sheet, I get 7 points because of midfield captain Bruno, Rashford, and Maguire. If City get a clean sheet, I get 9 points, and then obviously Spurs. So there's like a lot of emphasis this week on clean sheets.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's my team up on screen there.
So you've got the armband on Bruno.
Yeah, got the armband on Bruno. We've got Ahmed coming in with the comment, "Jabs, you are so dumb." Thank you. I appreciate that. Many appreciations. Cheese Bomb said, "Thought about what you both said yesterday about Alba, but I've just got a good feeling the armband is on him." Is Cheese Bomb the return, the man, the myth, the legend? He returned into the stream yesterday asking about Alba, and apparently he's gonna go with it. Gonna go captain on Aubameyang. That is brave.
You don't see a lot of Aubameyangs, so if he does well, then that's a big green arrow.
That's the thing. I said yesterday that I think Aubameyang, like I don't think he's necessarily a bad pick. There's obviously other premium options that I would go for, but I wouldn't. The fact that he is a very big differential in that sense. I wouldn't captain him because he's enough of a differential. But I mean, all fair play to you. If that goes well, then you're gonna be absolutely flying up the league.
Right.
Obviously, from many perspectives, I hope that is that does not that does not happen. But yeah, good luck to you. Saka and Holding or Tierney and Smith Rowe. Ooh. Saka and Holding or Tierney and Smith Rowe, very similar combinations. Obviously, 4 players from the same team. What do we think about that one, Mr.
Brown? I'm thinking about this now because originally and still currently, I've had Saka in my team, but it does seem much more likely that they'll have a clean sheet than he'll produce something, but he's just a bit more exciting, isn't he?
Yeah.
In the Tierney versus Saka versus Smith Rowe could not play.
Yeah, that's true.
Saka's certainly more likely to play. Holding and Tierney both likely to play. But Tierney's just he's so far up the pitch.
I'd say Saka and Holding is the kind of the risk averse pick. And Tierney and Smith Rowe, I feel like has a greater ceiling. There's more potential to do well, but also more potential to fail in that sense. Because as you say, Smith Rowe could not play, whereas Saka seems like pretty essential to that Arsenal side right now. I do think Smith Rowe will play, but obviously Tierney's much better than Holding, and you'd say that Saka are better than Smith Rowe. So it's half of one and half a dozen of the other.
I think potentially Saka and Holding not just only are the safer pick, but might more likely be the stronger point returners
Yeah,
Because
potentially.
I feel like Tierney and for both Tierney and Holding, you're hoping for clean sheets. I think that's clear.
Yeah, and the attacking returns are definitely there for Tierney.
They are there, but they'll be much more spaced out. They won't be as frequent as you might hope or expect from Saka.
Yeah,
So if both players return a clean sheet, or either player returns a clean sheet, then you're happy.
yeah.
But then Saka is seemingly far more likely to return than Smith Rowe.
Oh, 100%. 100, yeah. I think you've put it very well there. So yeah, there's your dilemma. Aaron comes in with the free hit has been activated. Big man. Ooh,
Exciting stuff.
that is exciting stuff. Let us know, or if you want to let us know in the chat in the description down below. What team you're going with? The captaincy decision is a big one this week. You're on De Bruyne. I'm on Bruno.
I am.
I'm sticking with Bruno. I like the consistency. Obviously, there's a lot to be said about De Bruyne. It's completely fair play. I think there's a lot of captaincy decisions this week. I'm just hoping that they all do well, so that at the end of the day, the headache of captaincy doesn't really need to. I mean, it's not really been that much of a headache for me. I've kind of had thoughts, should I captain Kane, De Bruyne, but I've stuck on Fernandes. I'm just hoping that they all perform well and get a similar amount of points.
I don't mind as long as they all get 10 points.
Yeah, all of them coming up. This guy comes in with a Neto or Gundogan. I mean, we're not even. I think Gundogan will start, but we're not 100% that he will. And Neto gets much further up the pitch. And I think playing against an Everton side, who have improved lately defensively, but still aren't great. So I think I'd personally go with Neto. Anything more to say on that one?
No, I'd agree with Neto. Gundogan, he's scored a couple of times, but he's not a player who historically has been consistently scoring goals and contributing to anything.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll expect that the attacking assets on that team will take the line share.
Yeah, 100%. Yep, completely. It says, haven't a clue who I'm going with right now. Have you literally just popped the free hit? Is this a panic stations? Pop the free hit. I'm gonna go back onto Owen's team because no copying here, please. No copying here, please. Nah, I mean we all know if we see this exact same team there, then fair enough. It's your free hit, it's your decision. But well, we shall see. I guess we shall see. Right, I think. We'll get onto some predictions. I think I'm gonna name this part of the stream, as it were, the deadline. I did this with Elle yesterday. Rename this the Bambling Buffoons part of the stream, where we go through and we predict the scores, and you let us know in the comments down below whether we are Bambling Buffoons or maybe we actually know a thing or two. But more than likely we don't.
More likely the former.
More likely the former. But so I've got Elle's predictions as well, so we can compare them. I can remember those from yesterday. Yes, and I did mine as well. So, Mr. Brown, Sheffield United versus Newcastle.
I think probably it's going to be 0-0.
0-0. Is that hopeful, or is that what you're hoping for?
I'd love for Callum Wilson to get a goal. But if I'm thinking about this fixture with my head, I probably think it's going to be 0-0.
Yeah. I mean, having watched that Sheffield United Newcastle game, Palace game, sorry. Sheffield United were woeful defensively, woeful. So I think that Callum Wilson definitely stands a chance, and I'm glad to be owning him for this week. But yeah, I don't think 0-0 is a particularly bad prediction. We've seen it kind of happen. If you're going with your head then with that 0-0 prediction, why are you against a Newcastle defender, as it were? Or you think the Man United are more likely to keep a clean sheet? Is that where you're kind of going with that?
I just have more trust in Man United to not be sloppy at the end.
Yeah, to not be stinky.
Yeah, I expect that United would probably concede a goal in the 30th minute if they're going to concede one.
Yeah, but not
rather than right at the end. And I just get a lot more annoyed if I see a goal conceded in the last 10.
Then yeah. I feel you. Yeah, almost happened. I mean, in the Palace game, when Sheffield almost went and scored in the last few minutes of that game, so it just would have been a bit of sloppiness because we were 2-0 up. So 0-0 coming in with that prediction.
That said, also Burnley have only scored 7 goals in the last 14 games in the league.
That's what I've been. Loads of people going like. I've seen people be put Man United defenders quite low in terms of their listing, and I saw this fixture as like I am getting a Manchester United defender in for this week.
Yeah.
For that very fact that Burnley have been a really good side for teams to keep clean sheets against, and the same with Sheffield. So I looked at those fixtures and was like, I want Sheffield United. I want a Newcastle defender, Man United defender, and obviously attackers from the both of them. So, what do you think for this game then?
I think it's probably going to be a 2-0. Like, we won't see loads and loads of goals, most likely.
Yeah.
Because Burnley aren't the type of side who concede, 4.
Yeah. So what?
But I think a 2-0 it makes the most sense.
So I think 2-3. I think I went with 4. I think I won up to. I think Elle went with 3. I think 2-0 is fair. Like Bruno Fernandes, couple of assists, and Maguire goal. I think that'd be fair all round to me.
You wish.
Judy's coming with Will Holding start. I think he's been a pretty regular starter for Arsenal, so I see absolutely no reason why Holding won't start. To be honest,
unless he's got him broken both his legs.
Yeah, unless
he's prone to do.
So should I bring in Target for Holding? I mean, it's one of for this week. If it's a free hit, then yeah. But I don't think that would be a free hit team if you've got Target in there. But long term, I think Target's a better option than Holding. Got loads of kind of stacked up double game week fixtures as well. So like Villa if they don't play Everton this weekend, they've got 3 fixtures that will become. Which will likely become double game week fixtures. So, it's quite good to own Aston Villa assets going forward. So, it's not bad. Wolves, Everton. What are you saying?
Wolves, Everton. Wolves had looked slow and boring as of late.
Yeah.
And Everton started off so exciting to watch.
Good.
But I think since Digne first left, they've never come back and just been anywhere close to as exciting.
100%.
I can see
Rodriguez is coming back for this game.
I can see it being maybe 2-1 either way.
Yeah, I think Elle went with 2-1 Wolves. I kind of had this game down as a draw in my head, anywhere from 0-0 to 3-3. You can see
quite different.
Yeah, you can see it being quite. I'm more. The one that I went with is 2-2. I'm verging towards a 2-2. But now that DCL is out, confirmed out for this game with a hamstring, I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go 1-1. To be honest. That's. I don't think it's. I don't know. It's one of them where they say it's not gonna be a particularly exciting game. The Wolves Brighton game I actually smashed last week. I was like, nah, this is going to be a drab game, whatever. Nothing happened. 1-0 Wolves, whatever. I predicted 3-3 in that game. What happens? 3-3. Magician, mate. Magician.
Get on the Super 6, win 100k.
Get on the Super 6. Would have smashed it. Unlikely I got the rest of them, but, But that's the thing, whenever you predict a result right like that, it's always like, oh yeah, I got this one, I'm great. But then the rest of them you're probably miles off of. But when you hit a game like when you hit a game like that, it's a good feeling. So I'm getting Holding, playing Target. Yeah, fair enough, Judy. Fair enough. I think we're roughly the same thinking with that game. Man City Brighton, what are you saying?
I would like to hope this game ends about 4-0.
Yeah. I was saying to Elle, the best prediction of late for Man City, especially against kind of poorer sides, has actually been 1-0. Because that's what they've been doing to the likes of West Brom, those kind of teams. It's just 1-0, get the game dusted. Which is kind of why I'm not captaining De Bruyne, because I haven't actually seen enough from De Bruyne for me to put the captaincy armband on him. He had a good game against Chelsea, but Man City prefer, in my opinion, playing against the bigger sides, apart from Liverpool, because they open up a lot more to them.
Yeah, they score. They're able to score a lot more goals or create a lot more chances at the very least.
Yeah, exactly. So I went with kind of 2-0 City in this one. Hopefully, big man Stones can rise up like a salmon and knock the ball into the back of the net. Obviously, we're both hoping for the nil because Brighton scoring would just be a pain, to be honest.
That would ruin a lot of people's weekends.
It would be a pain. But yeah,
or weeks rather.
Weeks, yeah. We have Samuel Smith coming in with the Rashford or Saka and I'm assuming it's. Do you mean Rashford, like just solely Rashford?
You can afford Rashford or Lacazette and Saka.
I ask, who would you be playing instead of, like, who would that player be, if you know what I mean? Because there has to be, if they're...
It has to be Rashford and someone for Saka and Lacazette, I think is what you're saying.
Yeah, it has to be, there has to be another player in there. So let us know, Sam, who the other player, who kind of Rashford and or Saka and Lacazette. Let us know that and we'll get to you.
Another comment. -8. McTominay, Sterling, KDB and Wilson, or Rashford, KDB, Wilson and Cancelo. For me, the second option is very clearly the better option.
Yeah, for McTominay, I'm just going to say no.
Yeah, McTominay's not going to be scoring 2 like he did before. He's not going to be scoring 1 most likely.
Yeah.
And Sterling, we're not even 100% that he's going to start.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think Rashford, KDB, Wilson, Cancelo, almost certainly all going to start.
Rashford, KDB,
could very likely do well.
Yeah, I think the second one, looks very, very good to me. They're all players that I want in the team for this week, so I think that looks great. Sam coming in with Rashford and Davies, but Davies won't start. So who will start instead? Because you've got Saka and Lacazette, so someone who's going to get benched out of that team. So someone's going to have to come out of that team, if you know what I mean, for you to play those two players. So I get that the transfer is Rashford and Davies, but who would you be then benching, if you know what I mean, to have Saka and Lacazette? Captain option, plenty of captaincy options this week, to be honest. You can go with Kane, Son. You can go with Wilson if you feel like a punt, or Lacazette if you're feeling like a punt, or Aubameyang as the boy Cheese Bomb coming in and said. But I think the main ones are De Bruyne, Fernandes, and Kane for this week. Maybe Son as well instead of Kane. But those are the main ones. I'm going with Fernandes myself. You're going with De Bruyne. I've seen people come with...
thus far, at least.
Yeah, I've seen people.
It could all change.
Could all change. But just go with what your head or your gut's saying. And then you'll have the most, or you have the least disappointment if you go with what your head or gut is saying, I'd say. And that's sort of how I play the game. I think how it should be done. It's coming with Cancelo and Neto, or Rashford and Fernandes, the Newcastle geezer. I really like Cancelo. Like, I really like him. But I do really like Rashford. Yeah, potential. Well, if I could, mate, if I could. What do you think? As a pairing, that's kind of tough, I think.
Cancelo and Neto, or Rashford and Fernandes.
I'd lean towards Rashford and Fernandes, because Fernandes kind of the two more differential ones there are kind of Neto and Fernandes. I think because Fernandes has Sheffield, I think Rashford and Fernandes to me seems like a bit of a better pairing.
Yeah, potentially.
But Cancelo and Neto also is very good, and I can see why that's a bit of a dilemma for you.
Sam was responding saying that Mitchell would be benched. In that case,
Saka and Lacazette, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think Saka and Lacazette's the fair play there. I really like Rashford, but yeah, I think Saka and Lacazette is what I would go for reluctantly. I made a mistake. I had Cresswell on my bench. I should have put him on a target on my bench. That's unfortunate, Judy. That's unfortunate. Mitchell will be benched. Watch KDB get no points and the others pick captain get points. I mean, it's just the way it is sometimes, you know. I mean, when Salah blanked against West Brom, it was just kind of, you know, unfortunate. I was trying to make grind in my leagues then with people who hadn't, and Salah going blank against West Brom at home. You wouldn't expect it, but just happens, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. One thing I did see that spoken about is if you captain Bruno, you're less likely to get a red arrow. Just because the effective ownership on Bruno is so high that
it's like 160%.
Yeah,
isn't it?
so owning him and captaining him, if he does nothing, just having De Bruyne for the week. If he does well, you'll probably like stay in a similar place. Whereas if you captain De Bruyne, he doesn't do well, but Fernandes does do well, then you'll go up, if you know what I mean. Or as in you'll go down. Sorry, which way? I've confused myself with the way around. I've got that, but I think people get the point.
I think we all get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just sent you a screenshot of what I plan to maybe do. I've only got 13 or 11 minutes to do it in. So what I was saying before was I was going to go straight from Cancelo or Diaz to Stones, and then Darlow to De Gea.
Yeah. So you're thinking of doing what I'm doing and getting Saka out of there for a defender.
Well, the reason I'm doing it is because then I don't have to decide whether I want to take out Cancelo or Diaz. I can have both.
Yeah. That's completely fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I personally, because as I've done, I figured I could actually take out Saka, who could definitely do something against Palace, but I much prefer having either Spurs defensive asset or Manchester City defensive asset or even United defensive asset that I wouldn't be able to have if Saka was in there. So I much prefer that. And obviously you're bringing in a Newcastle defender, and I think Clark looks good. He's got some attacking potential as well, so I do like that. It's a lot stronger than having Darlow, I think. So
yeah, definitely.
I think it's fair enough if you want to do that. So already.
I think a lot of people will have Saka. I think I'm in a bit of a panic station at the minute.
Yeah.
And
I think also a lot of people will have a Newcastle defensive asset as well.
Someone asking frighteningly, Wan-Bissaka or Saiss?
Wan-Bissaka or Saiss?
Help me now!
Out of the two, Wan-Bissaka for me. I think
I agree.
Pretty simple as that. Potential.
Oh, actually,
Saiss does have some attack.
No, you know what? I think.
Go on.
I think probably Saiss. I imagine that Palace will probably almost certainly concede this game because Arsenal have really got to try and.
Saiss.
Sorry?
As in the Wolves defender.
Yeah.
You said you start talking about Palace.
He's one. Oh my goodness me.
goodness me.
Yeah. Now I'm not in 2018.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka is the option for choosing.
Yeah. He's come out of 2018. And really, yeah. Wan-Bissaka for playing for Manchester United. I think the pick. Saiss does have some attacking return. Could keep a clean sheet against Everton now that DCL is out. But out of the two, I think more likely than not, Wan-Bissaka will return in these fixtures. So we can all calm down and stop panicking. Stop panicking. Aaron, if you're still watching, let us know how the free hit's going. Any last minute decisions or any last minute panicking, let us know. I'd be intrigued to see how it's going. Panic, do it. Sam also gets
so remind me, you've got Cancelo. You got Ruben Diaz.
No Diaz.
Stones.
Cancelo, Stones. Clark. Lloris, Maguire.
Got you.
That's the thought. I'm quite going through the most out of the combinations, because that's kind of how I want my defense to look. I want a defensive assets from each of those teams. Out of the combinations of kind of goalkeepers and defenders that I could get, that was the one that I was most happy with. I would have liked to have had Diaz instead of Stones, but if Stones will play this game, I'm pretty sure of that. So nice to have him.
So you're not envious of my defender and goalkeeper situation?
What, De Gea and Diaz sort of thing?
De Gea and Dyer. And Ruben Diaz instead of Lloris and Maguire.
No, I mean I'm happy. I'm happy with how it is. I've just kind of I've got a feeling. I've just had a feeling that Maguire could leap up and score. So I'm just going to stick with that. And when it comes to it, we should apart from maybe like either Dyer or Stones or Diaz picking up an attack and return, we're effectively on for the same points. Should be anyway. So that would be the only difference. I'm not. It's basically it's the same thing pretty much.
Yeah.
So no, not particularly envious.
Okay.
Where do we get to the fixtures? Spurs Fulham.
Spurs Fulham. I'm hoping and praying that this is going to be like a 3-0.
3-0 Spurs. Yeah, I can get behind that. I think that was the kind of general consensus of yesterday was that kind of result is what's going to happen.
Yes.
Jude's coming in, my team's completed. Good to see. Sam's coming with made the moves. Is no Spurs defence going to hurt me? I mean, it could. You see a lot of people coming in with the Spurs defenders. I think out of them, you've probably got Man City defenders first in kind of the ranking of, I think, ownership out of people will have for this game week. Then I think Spurs and Newcastle probably up there as second in terms of like free hit teams. Then maybe Arsenal and United. I've seen like United defenders be quite unpopular for this week for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, I've not seen too many people going with Manchester United defenders. To be honest, people going with like Saka instead of like say Maguire or preferring the Newcastle boys. I think the Spurs defenders are quite, especially against Fulham, will be reasonably highly owned. But it just depends, I guess, who else you've got in there who can bring in the points. Sounds like you're going with Saka and Lacazette, so those guys a bit more differential probably and could easily bring you in the big points. Gus coming in, he was in here yesterday. This is my wildcard team: Meslier, De Gea, Dyer, Cancelo, Stones, Soufal, Holding, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Son, Rashford, Saka, Wilson, Antonio, and Bamford. You like it? You've got a lot of players there. But I'm assuming that's to kind of get you through the blank game week and then have a good team for the double game week. The three up front: Wilson, Antonio, Bamford. Antonio and Bamford look great for the double game week, and obviously you've got Wilson playing there this week. Saka, Rashford, Son, Fernandes, De Bruyne. You hold like most of the good assets for this week. Only thing I'll say is, do you have a plan? Do you have a plan to get Salah back in? Is the only thing I'd say.
I'd also note that Meslier De Gea is quite an expensive combination.
How much is Meslier now?
I'm presuming he's 4.7.
4 yeah, he went up a bit in price. And De Gea as well. I guess it's one of. It's an expensive combination, especially when De Gea has decent fixtures, if you know what I mean. Like, unless this is a bench, but like if this is a planned bench boost team, I think fair enough. But when De Gea has good fixtures up until like game week 25, I don't think there's a particular need to have the rotating goalkeeper. But then again, with everything that's going on, it's not necessarily the worst idea, because if the United game gets called off for anything,
you've got a backup.
You've got a backup. Is Kane good? Is Kane good for this game week? Yes, I think just about sums it up. Would Martial start both games? I'm assuming. I I'm gonna take this as a double game week answer, or like let's say the next 2 fixtures. Likely to. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't. But then again, you know, he does come off early in games and has been rotated a bit with Cavani. It's a shame that El's not here because he could be our Manchester United. He's our Manchester United voice.
He's our correspondent.
Our correspondent of the Manchester United. I don't really 100% know. I can't give you a definitive answer, to be honest. But I don't necessarily see a reason why not. To be honest, we are very quickly approaching the deadline. Quick little check and screenshot up my team because I don't want to, you know, that panic when the deadline hits of, oh my god, have I captained, you know, Mitchell? What have I done there? Screenshot has been taken. The captaincy is on De Bruyne. We've got Lloris, Maguire, Clark, Cancelo, Stones, Fernandes, Son.
Captain's on De Bruyne, is it?
Fernandes, sorry. What am I doing? Panic. Fernandes, Son, De Bruyne, Rashford, Wilson, and Kane. So,
I still don't know who I should captain.
Maybe I'm going to switch Wilson out because I'm going to bench boost.
I'm pressing the button on absolutely everyone and we'll just see who it ends up on.
The thing is with Gus, with Wilson this week, he looks like a good option. If you're going to bench boost, you do get a free transfer ahead of game week 19, so you can always move a player in for that game week. I'd say you've made your decision with your team. It's the last minute. Stick with it. Don't panic. Just like you're setting yourself up to be annoyed if you make kind of panic decisions at this time. So kind of you thought about it a lot. It seems. Stick with your team, and whatever happens, I guess. Have you made them transfers, Owen?
I have made the transfers.
Good. I think those are good last minute moves if I've seen them.
That's it. It's 4:30 by my watch.
4:30. There we are, everybody. Good luck. I hope you do well. I hope I do better. As is always. But I think a lot of people will be hoping for a lot of the same things. So hopefully everyone's going to be in the same boat, cheering a lot of the same players on. To be honest, a lot of people. It's nice going to be able to watch the Spurs game with Kane and Son. That's going to be a nice watch. The Manchester United game tonight will be a nice watch as well. So hell of a game week this one. Very much looking forward to it. Quickly, before we do end, we have one more fixture to predict, and that is the Arsenal Crystal Palace fixture. Do your worst.
Do my worst. I think it could be 3-1 to Arsenal.
To Palace, yeah, to Palace.
I don't want to rule out a Palace goal.
That's fair
and I know that 3
wise.
is quite a lot for Palace to concede, but in the past couple of weeks they've been a bit shaky.
Shaky in when we've actually, since Tompkins and Mitchell came into the side, we've conceded 1 goal. So
yeah, that's true. I'm
what you
confused how Mitchell ever got out the team, by the way.
I think it was because
obviously I know why.
Yeah.
But like when it went like in the beginning of the season, in the first 4 or 5 games that he played, no one scored.
Yeah, it was because we needed that kind of... Van Aanholt brings that attacking threat, I think, and we do look so much better going forward when he's there. But when we play Eze, the left side is just so vulnerable. And now that Eze looks like... Because at the start of the season, Eze wasn't getting into the team. It was Schlupp was starting, and Schlupp covers a lot for Van Aanholt, like a massive amount. And
so
now
I think having Eze and Mitchell, it seems like the stronger combination than Van Aanholt and Schlupp.
And you need, now that Eze's there, you need that defensive coverage, because Mitchell will get forward, but he's so much better. He's just better like at defending as well. It's not even like he just like tracks.
It's not just that he's back. He's also better at getting the ball.
Yeah, exactly. He's got like a very quick turn of like a little bit like Wan-Bissaka in the way he's got that like over a 5 yards. He's got a very quick turn of pace, so he can like make them like last ditch challenges. Which Van Aanholt just kind of flails a leg and misses the ball.
I do wonder what I ended up on my captaincy as.
What you ended up?
I can't look.
Oh, well, you just changing it last minute?
I genuinely was.
Oh fucking hell. Well.
Couldn't decide. I couldn't
Well,
decide.
who are you changing between? As long as you've picked like
It
one
was
of
changing
these.
between Bruno, KDB, and Son.
Okay, so as long as you have picked one of them, that's fine.
Like one of the three is my captain, and one of the three is my vice captain. I just don't know which.
Sam brings in the team. He's gone with Darlow in net. Big brave decision that. Brave boy. Cancelo, Stones, Maguire like that. Fernandes, De Bruyne, Son, Saka, Wilson, Kane, Laka. He is banking on Arsenal doing well. We shall see. We shall see. That's going to be an interesting watch. I hope for me it will be entertaining, but we shall see.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everyone.
Cheesebomb asks if Mitchell should be considered for England.
Not yet. Not yet.
I think we got so many fullback options on both sides.
I mean, you've got like the English left backs. I mean, they've improved a bit of late, but there's not like an abundance of left backs. You've got Creswell, Chilwell, Shaw. That's about it at the minute.
I mean, are those three not better?
Yeah, but that's what. But I wouldn't say that's particularly an abundance like we have on the right back side.
Yeah, sure. On the right, we've got maybe 10 or 15 like considerations.
An absurd amount of right backs. An absurd amount of yeah, I think it's completely true.
Ishan says that he's not free hit and he's got 7 players max.
Oh dear.
So good luck.
Meslier or Areola for the double. Meslier. I don't know. The Leeds have been sinking a lot, but Fulham, I just don't like Fulham assets, to be honest with you. I think
that
Leeds.
Said, Areola is incredible.
He's a great keeper. Like how he's at Fulham, I do not know.
I don't know.
That is a steal.
The man's not young. He looks young, but he's not. And he's been playing at PSG for a while. He played at PSG whilst Beckham was there, and that was 2013.
Yeah, I mean, like what a keeper. But yeah, I still, I don't know. I just see Leeds have kept more clean sheets and probably more like against Southampton. I don't see them keeping a clean sheet. But against Brighton, I can definitely see it. So I think Meslier for me. And also, you know that Meslier is going to pick up a lot of saves because the Brighton defence is the Leeds defence is shaky as anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, thanks everyone for joining this stream. Hope you have enjoyed. Deadline as always. Everyone panicking. Good luck. Hope you do well. Hope I do better. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me, Owen.
No, pleasure as always.
Pleasure as always. See you later, everyone. Good luck. Have a good week.